What's going on? Another Tuesday, another RWBY review, another copyright claim from Rooster Teeth.
My guy says that he would love to help us by making those motherfuckers choke on their own balls, but currently he's tied up on trying to track Jackie down.
Well, it wouldn't matter, because YouTube would probably still honor their claim, even in death. But speaking about the subject, let's take a look back with RWBY and the gang and see if Crow's gonna croak.
Previously, we got to see our lovely teammates back in one video, even if each were in a different part of existence. Yang was getting back in the groove of kicking ass, which I guess makes it the rocky side of things. Weiss was trying to deal with her soon-to-be serial killer of a brother, Whitley, which I suppose would make that the good son crossover. Blake was chasing after a girl,
Told you she was gay.
which would make that Tom Cruise universe. And RWBY and the bunch were stuck on horror planet of Spooky Galaxy, cause these idiots think that the best thing to do in a grim-infested land with bandits possibly nearby is to split up like this is an episode of Scooby-Doo, which then would make Crow a more alcoholic version of Shaggy. In any course, Yang is getting accustomed to her new arm.
I would like evidence that she fully tested the vibration settings.
Weiss tries to get used to her new role as not an heiress, but this is helped with Yang's father and Weiss's knight, both equally white and badass. On the other side of the spectrum, Blake found herself confronted by another from her past, as Team Ranger are confronted by the past of another. And it doesn't end well for either, as Ren's stubbornness leaves the team separating ways, and Blake's hesitation leaves Sun separating from this life.
God damn it, Laconin, stop it!
Give up the ghost, boy. You weren't good enough for her anyways.
Anyways, it seems that it's Team Reject that soon may be finding themselves in the fight for their lives.
Now back to the review, and let's see if we can find out what that hoof print's all about. Laconin, roll clip.
For the 9th time in this season and the 46th time so far in the overall series, skip! And we're back with, where the hell are we? Oh, god damn it! Not this little loser again. Well, it turns out that this little loser is leaving home, and despite his apprehension about it, somehow he says this feels like the right thing. However, this little trip doesn't seem to be getting off on the right foot, as rain begins to fall, and the train station's ticket booth doesn't accept his Monopoly money. But luckily for him, a sexy beefcake comes up and Fonzie's the thing.
Don't let such a small obstacle block your path.
Who is he?
Someone from my past. Someone who should not be taken lightly.
Well, enough of that foreshadowing conflict. Back with the kids and the corpse. The two finally reach the fallen city of Kuroyuri, but as they look for anything that might help Crow, RWBY asks Jan if he knows why Ren was so adamant on not coming with.
I think I have a pretty good idea.
Yeah, he and Nora just wanted some time alone to boop.
Laconin!
Well then, as we pan over to a dead flower, we fade back to when it was alive and hey, look at the cute little girl. She's so adorable, pointing at the flower. Just makes me feel all warm inside.
It's a trap!
What? The hell is that supposed to mean?
Why, hello, little light.
Holy shit, it's Ren!
Oh my god. The things that I had fantasized doing to him. I'd still tap that.
Okay, so apparently we're in the past where we see little Ren with his mommy, who tells him that his father will be back from his hunt soon and he should go and get him something for his return.
Do you think you'll know what he wants?
I think he wants a water flower in the garden.
Why did you have to inherit my sass?
I don't think you have sass. I think you have... What does she have, Laconin?
They both have ass. Give me that booty.
No, I was gonna say that she has something that would trigger the leftist trolls.
What I said would trigger them too.
Anyways, Ren runs off to the market, where he takes a look at the foreshadowing forgery, some sensible sake seller, but it's at the 2D bakery that he hears some commotion coming from an alleyway, where some Stephen King bullies are picking on a little—
Holy crap, that's Nora!
Are you telling me that my Nora is not only a little one, but there are some fleas teasing my scared lolly?
Hello, this is Steve Kitty Fiddler.
Steve, it's Laconin. I have some naughty ones I need you to whisk away.
Hello?
Steve?
Hello?
Steve, can you hear?
Ah, gotcha! This is a recording!
God damn it, Steve, this is serious! My lolly's in danger!
Well, I guess these kids are about to get their asses whooped. Oh my god, you pansy!
Ren, you disappoint me.
And you're not the only one he disappoints, as it turns out that his father, who is apparently cosplaying as Hanzo, scares off the little bullies.
Do you wish to run with the rest of them? Sometimes the worst action to take is taking no action at all.
Well, as Ren's father goes to speak with the mayor, we return to our happy little campers who aren't so happy that they haven't found anything. Upon hearing a far distant noise and fearing about Ren and Nora, Ruby suddenly apologizes.
I'm sorry.
Huh?
This is all my fault. I should have never dragged you guys into this.
You didn't drag us in. We wanted to come.
But you didn't know about Tyrion, about...
Ruby, we lost Pyrrha. You lost her too. And Penny, and your team, and in a way, your sister. Despite everything you've lost, and everything you could still lose, you chose to come out here. Because you felt like you could make a difference. You didn't drag us along. You gave us the courage to follow you.
Aw. That's really touching. Don't.
Don't what?
I thought you were gonna say ship!
Oh, no. White Rose forever.
We then have another fade back to the past as a monstrous Screech and his mother wakes Ren. Outside the room, Lee comes bursting into the house, demanding to know why they haven't left already, as he tells them that they need a huntsman for the creature and tries to comfort Little Eye.
It's okay, darling.
You have taunted the irony god, but it will not be ye who suffers. Oh, my MILF!
God damn it, Lakanon, we got bigger problems! To which Ren discovers to his horror. Lee tells his son to run, but Lai says that he's too scared. However, his father hands him a dagger and pushes him away.
Take action, son. Your mother and I love you.
But of course, at that moment, the monster comes up and is all like, "Hello! Sorry to ruin the emotional moment for you, Governor, but I'm here to kill you!" As Lee makes the final stand, Lai flees back to the little river we first found him at, where the creatures of fear seem to infect him with their very presence. However, at the sight of his bay in peril, this senpai finds new strength.
Hey! We have to be brave.
Bonaire powered shield at full charge. And thanks to his newly discovered power, the two managed to hide from both the birdie and the beast. With Nora still terrified, Ren retrieves the discarded hammer and informs the soon-to-be yandere that they will keep each other safe.
What's your name? Nora. My name's Nairen.
We then return back to the present with the two, where Nora asks Ren if he's okay after that touching scene. But being a man, he hides his emotions.
And you?
I've got you here, don't I? Come on, there's more than one way up a mountain.
Well, yeah, but not every way is safe, and we know you have a tendency to do dangerous shit, Nora!
Aw, it's broken.
As the skies begin to thunder, Nora discovers a cave. But upon further inquiry, Ren has a shocking clue blown into his face. Seeing that it's a symbol of Xion, he rushes in where he discovers a literal boneyard of fallen heroes. And upon seeing an old friend, he discovers an old enemy is heading straight for Ruby and Jacques. And I just peed myself!
And that's the end of that awesome episode! Woo! Quickly, which did you love more, Little Ren or Little Nora?
Doesn't matter, Shadow or Lolly. It's all the same to me.
Agent Cole! He's getting at it again!
What are you doing?
Nothing.
It matters not. Nothing can get between me and my prize.
Hurry! Anyways, guys, not only was that a great episode, but that's how you do revelational storytelling!
If you guys remember, Rooster Teeth have already tried this before, back in Volume 2 and 3. Near the end of Volume 2, they had our girls recount their reasons for being where they were, but failed to show us any visual representation to help us understand, especially since a key character was part of these revelations. In Volume 3, we saw the origins of how Cinder acquired her followers, but it was so suddenly cut into the episode that it failed to be anything more than a reminder that we knew nothing of her own origins. Here, however, we get a beautifully executed callback to the past of two characters through the eyes of one by the means of a place that they once called home. And this has actually been something they've been building to, and though it's clearly not over, what we've just got in this episode has more than made up for the wait. Though we got something similar with Cinder, getting to know how she liked being powerful, how she enjoyed getting back at the world, and how driven she was too, we needed some freaking payoff! And more importantly, it needed to be more than just a quick little episode summing up everything besides the main girl.
However, this is where flashbacks were done right.
The flashback is still a bit of a cliche in storytelling, but as I've said, a cliche is just something we've seen before. How it's executed is the important thing, and the execution here was spot on. For both times we jump back, it's worked seamlessly into the story during instances in which the main plot begins to mellow out, allowing us to change to something else without it feeling jarring. For a flashback is both to answer a few questions that we have, as well as to grow the history of a character. But we got more than that. No doubt not a single one of you can say anything bad about these two little kids.
And if you do, you're going to hell.
Too right, and Grandma won't give you a cookie.
Because how they are presented to us is both unbelievably adorable and weirdly relatable. Without pounding it into us like we're Crash missing every box in the freaking game, we fully understand the plight that each one has, as well as how they must change. Again, without the usual 3-hour exposition dump on how you must become stronger that we usually get in this medium. And after so much bleakness, seeing the much younger version of beloved characters is a very welcome sight.
Very welcome indeed.
And more interestingly, it isn't easy to tell who is more awesome to watch in these scenes.
Again, it doesn't matter to me.
Already knowing each of them, there's always that trip up of the writers failing to make the younger versions feel younger, rather than different or just a chibi version of the current ones. But Miles and Carrie did a spectacular job, as we can see both of them still show the same spirits of their elder counterparts, but also see where they were to grow by where they are now. And through this growth, we get a glimpse for the first time of what Ren's semblance may be, which I believe is the first time we've seen a non-aggressive semblance. Others so far can easily fall into the categories of offensive, or at least situationally passive, but this seems to be the first defensive semblance, as far as I can tell, it just hides you from the grim. True, you can still use it in battle, but only against these monsters, never against your fellow man. Which fits nicely both into the whole semblance are an aspect of one's soul and with Ren's personality. And it may actually be Ren who is the main character of this volume, or at least the main character focus. We had Blake and Weiss back in Volume 1, Blake and Yang back in Volume 2,
Bumbly confirmed,
Ruby and Cinder in the previous, and now it seems that it's our two orphan friends who are what this volume revolves around. Apart from our villains, they are the first of our protagonists to be seen and heard. Even in the character short, they each get a line before Ruby. And while she may still be the main protagonist, as she has been since her first debut, once again we are seeing Ruby have things happen around her rather than to her. Which, again, is a nice change up to the usual protagonist role. And I love it! I've said before that I wanted to know more about these two, as both Samantha Ireland and Monty, and now his brother Neith, have done wonderful jobs at bringing these two to our hearts. We've grown so close to two characters who, until now, were nothing more than background cast and meme machines. And I'm still surprised as ever that Rooster Teeth are continually able to hire acclaimed actors for their rinky-dink web series. And as far as I can tell, they only appear in this episode so far, but neither Khajiit Tang nor Dawn Bennett bring anything less than their all when it came to voicing the parents of our little ninja.
However,
oh, don't you dare! We almost made it through!
I'm sorry, but if there's a problem, I have to address it.
You're dead to me.
So what else is new?
Now, it's not with either of these two stars' performance, but rather with these two farts' writing. Or, more accurately, their character creation. I know, holy crap, I'm criticizing that which I always praise?
Have I gone mad?
I don't know, maybe. Or maybe it's just a little niggle of the names of Lai's parents. That's right! Lai. Not Ren, as we were thought to believe. Our ninja's first name is Lai. Which doesn't seem to be a problem until you realize that not only has everyone been calling him by his surname, including his best friend, but that it makes no sense. Originally, I was going to defend this against some who put out that RWBY's teen naming was bullshit, as since Volume 1, people thought that Ren's first name was Lai. But it seems like I'm going to have to eat my words, as well as the egg on my face, because apparently Miles and Carrie didn't get the memo that the Chinese, as well as a few other Asian cultures, write their surnames before their given ones. Granted, yes, it does make some sense, as Lai means ardent, as in enthusiastic and passionate, something that Ren isn't. But that's looking at it as a first name, whereas Lai is a common surname in China, which also can be represented as the character for the plum or plum tree. However, Ren means lotus in Japanese, which is his symbol, as well as being the Chinese Confucian virtue of altruism, as in selflessness and happiness for others. Something that Ren most certainly is, and I have no doubt what Mani was himself, as well as being of Japanese and Chinese descent. Now, this is all just speculation on what this idiot's name is supposed to be, but given everything I just said and how he's almost never referred to as such before this episode, I think we can assume that Miles and Carrie just f***ed up, which isn't the only time he's f***ed up, and which is why I'm spending so much time and energy on it, as it is canon and shows that a single thing can screw up a character's aspect for good. Or at least until the inevitable remake that must occur every 5 years, otherwise the Hollywood Titan stir from his slumber and bring damnation upon us all. However, this is small potatoes, as most of us won't look any further into a character, unless you're weird like me.
No argument here.
But it does remind us of the weight of the responsibility that these two have on their shoulders, as Mani left nothing but a few notes, a couple of ideas, and a handful of hope. And while they will, and now have, stumble from time to time, we must encourage them to do what is right for the show, even if it's hard. Because I didn't make the statement that this was the best episode of the season lightly. We are given so much, and yet quite a bit is left for us to ponder. The creature, for instance, has an interesting sway on the future as well as the days gone by. It has been here not only as a menacing figure lurking in the shadows of the past, but as a symbol of what some lost the day its own shadow fell upon this town. And now it's returned, for the monsters of our past never remain there.
I'll speak more about this at the end, but once again, let's take a look at what has been constantly told to us in all but words till now.
We need a huntsman. This is more than just someone calling for help. They are the only hope they have against these beasts. Ironic that those that use their souls as weapons and shields use it against those with no soul at all. And from the beginning of the character short, we are shown how desperately this world needs these heroes. Before, it was just something that many others were doing, as simple as one would attend any school. But time and time again, our kids are seeing just how important it all really was. While others knew of this long before they can do more than count to 10, others still are now having to see the ashes of what once was.
Sorry, poor choice of words.
But it's also interesting, now that we're talking about it, that this is the first time her name is being spoken in reflection of what happened that terrible night. Once more, Ruby and Sean are finding themselves relying on each other to press onward. Ruby, who once had to be the one to be there to remind Sean just how important he really was to his team, regardless if he felt right for the job, is now being the one told to stand strong. Even through all that has happened, the first friendship made at Beacon is still there for each other, is still there for their friends.
Oh, piss off.
Excuse me?
The Lancaster ship will never win. The White Rose is too strong.
I'm talking about the love and trust of true friendship, and that's where your mind goes!
White Rose forever.
Anyways, guys, there's one more subject I want to touch on before we close this review, and it actually has to do with the very first scene.
Oscar's leaving home. And we don't give a shit. Which is the problem I've been pointing out. Not having spent enough time to get to know this kid and his life with his aunt, we have no feelings one way or another on him leaving behind everything he knows. Literally, if it weren't for the aspect that I said I'll get to later, and yes, I'll get to it later, Mom, you could have cut out all the scenes with this little twerp, and it would have affected nothing to this volume's overall plot. In fact, maybe they should have done that and spent the extra time with Yang and Cinder. Yes, her, because as you'll see, she doesn't fare much better. Because Oscar is literally leaving the safety and comfort of his life to a world we know to be very dangerous. but we still don't care. Hell, just moments after he steps out of his own front door, he comes face to face with one of our new villains. We should be feeling some apprehension from all of this, but not knowing how dangerous this meth head is, or how weak Sealed Soul would be in a fight, we are left waiting for it all to be over so we can get to the real show. But like with Miles and Carrie's royal fuck up with Ren's name, this too is easily overlooked the moment these two show their cute little faces.
As my thorough research has dug up, they have more than just cute faces.
Akanan, is there a reason why there are FBI fans pulling up to the house?
Watch the door! I need more time to purge my history!
Well, seeing that shit's about to go down, that concludes the review. Once again, thank you all for watching. If you like this, hit that thumbs up and subscribe for further videos. Don't forget to leave a comment and share this with your friends. I'm Ricardo, the Cynical Critic. With me, no movie's sacred, no videos saved, but all deserve a chance. I'll catch you guys next time. Dude, FBI, open up! Oh boy.
Are you guys even trying to aim?
He's the one, officer! Take him!
Wait, what?
I have no hands. How can I use a keyboard?
Oh, you lying ceramic son of a...
Language.
Bad boys, what you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Sheriff John Brown come for you? Tell me what you wanna do, what you gonna do? Yeah. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had bad traits, you go to school and learn the golden rule. So why are you acting like a bloody fool? If you get hot, then you must get...
This is my fort!
The world is changing once again, Hanzo. And it's time to pick a side.
Real life is not like the stories our father told us. You were a fool for believing it so. You ga wagateki wo kurau!
Defeat.